let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Dish Deeper Farmer Cigar Garage Talks. How's everyone doing? I'm doing okay. A little incident here with my cigar. I'm hoping I fixed it. Not quite yet, but we're gonna drive on anyway. Follow or head on into the blue. What are we smoking? What are we drinking? Trying something different. Dad's Home Movies. This is by Punch Cigars. Kind of a fun little cigar. Actually, you buy a pack of them. They come in a like a VHS case. If you guys know what that is. Old movies used to come in these cassette cases. Interesting cigar. I wanted to give it a try. It's actually not that expensive of a cigar. But mine actually, I don't know if you can see on there, I actually had to glue it. Had to use some of this cigar glue I got hanging around. It's not drying though, so I gotta be careful while smoking it that I don't accidentally ingest some of the stuff. It's food grade, it's safe, you can drink it and stuff like that. It just doesn't taste great. But we'll keep going. No big deal. For the drink tonight, from Southern Tier Brewery, we have the Irish Cream Stout. I have not had one of theirs before. Not had their Irish Cream Stout. So we're going to give it a whirl, see what it's like. They're out of New York. Was it Lakewood, New York? Very interesting. There you go. Nice stout beer there. Uh-oh, hold on a second. I'm being invaded. Sorry about that. Let's continue. So, yes, the Irish Cream Stout from Southern Tier. I'll give it a little sip here, give it a try. Okay. Not bad. There's an interesting flavor in there. I can't really pick, or I'm trying to think of what it is. It's different. Definitely creamy. Almost like a fruity flavor. It's not bad. Not bad. I do enjoy that. Anyway, I got invaded. Some of the kids needed stuff out of the car that they apparently forgot after co-op, so they had to go tear through the car, so I got to pause the video. That's all right. So, tonight's topic. Is she the one? Right? That is the big question. Can I answer that for you? Probably not. Can I kind of talk about my experience with deciding, is this the person I'm supposed to marry? Yeah, sure. It is a very daunting question. Is she the one? Is this the one you want to marry? If you're religious, you know that marriage is forever. Once you marry someone, there's no go-backsies, right? There's no take-backsies. Only a handful of situations in the Catholic Church can you get what's called an annulment, which is different than a divorce. They're tricky to get. It involves a process talking to a priest and usually up to a bishop, actually, to get approval to get your annulment. And again, it's not as simple as just filling some paperwork at the courthouse, like those piece of paper marriage certificates are. So this is a big deal. So let's talk about it. So for me, when I decided to try and date homeschooling mama, I had a lot of trepidation about asking her to date. The main reason being is she was a really good friend. We were really good friends. We, talked a lot. We were each other's confidants. Hung out together. She liked my friends. And I liked her friends, which is rare. That's hard when you're, having the different friend groups. Will they like each other? A lot of times the answer is no. No, they don't like them. But luckily with us, we did. We just really liked each other's friends, and that made stuff a lot easier. So a friend of mine basically said, I was talking to her about, about homeschooling mama, and she basically said, you're being an idiot. Like, stop being an idiot, just ask her out. So I did. Whole nother story maybe about that. It went, she said no at first. And it wasn't like a no never, it's just no, not right now, which I respected. And it eventually became, yeah, I'll date you. So we were dating. We were dating for about a year. And I was trying to figure out, okay, what, one, do I want to keep dating this person? Two, do I want to marry this person? So we, again, we were dating. I was trying to figure that out. Well, first off, I found myself where, I'd go to hang out with my other friends, and the first thought of my mind is, wow, I wonder what homeschooling mom was doing. I wonder what she's up to. Whereas like, neat, this is so much fun. I wish homeschooling mama was here with me. And then when we were together, we were always catching up, always talking, nonstop, talking about everything. Religion, we were talking about politics, about school, about friends, gossiping. We were talking about, I was talking about EMS stuff. She was talking about English stuff. So, I was feeling pretty good that, yeah, this might be the one. But, I just didn't know. I, of course, couldn't talk to my parents. They were divorced and clearly not good judges on how to pick a partner. I could have talked to my sisters, but at that time, I was talking to them, but, they were gone by the time I was of any dating age. So, they were never there in the past to help me through some of the turbulence that came with, trying to date someone. So I just didn't really feel like I would respect their answers, their opinions at that time. So eventually, I decided, well, there was a priest who kind of sort of introduced me and homeschooling mama. Definitely counseled homeschooling mama through a few things. He was also the priest that helped her kind of say yes to dating me. I'd find out later that, yeah, he, she went to him because there was some stuff that she's like, I don't know if I want to date. And he helped her, search and pray for it and try to get an answer to it. And eventually, they came to the conclusion that, yeah, she should try dating me. So I was like, if there's anyone who might be able to help me, it was probably this priest. So I made up some BS. He had since transferred out of the area. He was at a new parish. So I came up with some BS reason. I'm pretty sure he saw right through it. I haven't talked to the guy in probably a year, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm going to be in town for no specific reason. Do you want to meet up? So I met up with him. I decided to take him to a local restaurant. I was nervous as all get up. I didn't know how do you approach this topic with someone. So we actually order food, and like I inhale my food to the point he makes comment. He's like, kind of, you ate that really quick. What's up? He's like, you do eat fast, but that's even fast for you. So I said, Father, I'm nervous. I'm scared. I might as well come out with it. I want to know, what do I do? I want to marry this girl, but I don't know if it's right. I don't know if I should. And his response was a hilarious one. He just started gutturally laughing, nonstop laughing, for a good minute at least. And I'm like, what? He said, first off, do not take homeschooling mama to a restaurant because you're going to be nervous and you're going to inhale your food. She'll know something's up. Spoiler alert, I did actually take her to a restaurant to propose. He's like, second, I'm going to ask you a very serious question. Why do you want to come to a Catholic priest to ask about, is she the one to get married? And I kind of got both jokes. Like, yeah, I could definitely see myself like so nervous. I'm either going to be pounding, rum and cokes or beers or, scarfing down as much food as I can. So maybe I don't want to propose at a restaurant. And then, he's right. Why do we go to a priest should I marry this person? Clearly they've never been married. Technically they're married to the church. kind of a different situation there, right? So he got a good laugh out of it. I got a good laugh out of it. And I said, Father, clearly you know the reason why I'm coming to a priest is I'm looking for like a biblical answer. Like, you know both of us. You know why homeschooling mama was hesitant to even date me. Like, I don't need to know the details. That's fine. But can we at least, can you kind of counsel me in as much as like a priest can counsel someone about whether or not you should get married? He laughed. He said, of course. He said, it's something they do study and they do train them for in seminary, how to advise people about whether or not to get married, because, priests do become kind of a trusted confidant in their parish. And I did trust him quite a bit. So we did. We talked at length. We talked about, he asked, like, what's your first thought? You didn't come here with homeschooling mama. I expected her here, actually. I expected to see you two here. What are your thoughts? Like, you took this long trip to come see me without her. And I'm like, Father, actually, it ate me up. I had to lie to homeschooling mama about, why I was going to Marquette and then why I wanted to go alone. He's like, so you lied to her? Like, I did, because I wanted to talk to you. He says, okay, well, you usually don't lie to people. I'm like, no, I don't like lying. He's like, so you're willing to go to extremes for her? Yes. He's like, on the whole drive over, what was your thoughts? Like, what were you thinking? I said, well, I kept thinking how much I really would have liked her in the car to pass the time. That almost 3-hour trip really drags without, homeschooling mama to talk to. Okay. He asked the big questions. Do you share financial goals? Do you share how many kids you'd want? Have you talked about this? Yeah, we talked about all that. We talk all the time. We never stop talking. You're both religious. Yes, we're both religious, Father. Okay. And he broke down Bible passages, and he broke down scripture, and it was a beautiful, wonderful conversation. And the whole time I'm sitting here, and I can't disagree with anything he says. He brings up great points. Was I sold that I was going to ask her to marry me? No. And he even told me, he's like, I don't want my conversation to be the reason why you say, yes, I'm going to marry her. Because again, I'm married to the church, but I well knew, what the church was and who she was before I married her. There's a lot of questions you have that I can't answer. Okay. Well, that summer, homeschooling mama actually went to Mexico for a student exchange program in college. And I was working a bunch of different jobs during the summer. I usually worked really hard during the summer to make a bunch of money, so I didn't have to work during the school year. And the whole time, my guts are wrenching. I'm wondering how she's doing. Is she okay? I'm writing her emails. I think we did do one phone call. It cost me like $20 to talk to her for 5 minutes or something, using our phone card. We were IMing. And it dawned on me that, if I can't think of anything else or anyone else, I would intentionally, some of the guys would invite me out. Let's go get some beers. Let's go have a night on the town. Let's go shoot some big guns. I'm like, no. I got to go talk to homeschooling mama. I got to respond to an email. I got to send a letter. I got to send a text. Well, not a text, an IM. We didn't have text messages. It wasn't a thing at that point. So I was like, I'm willing to sacrifice unrestrained fun. It's not like I was, I didn't say, homeschooling mama doesn't want me to go out drinking with you guys. She could care less. She didn't care if I went drinking. Well, she was in Mexico, and I did go drinking a few times, don't get me wrong. So, yeah. I wanted to be with her more than I wanted to be with good friends. I wanted to talk to her more than I wanted to be out partying and celebrating. We shared a lot of the really good topics: religion, money, ambitions in life, children. We complemented each other. Again, she's really big into English. I'm big into science. So I had decided that, yeah, I'm going to ask her to marry me. We'll go from there. Again, just because you ask someone to marry you doesn't mean 100% you're going to. Um, and I'm kind of an old school type person. I had to ask her dad for his blessing. There was another, I don't know what you call it, friend, confidant, person who is the high level bullshittery. He did say, he's like, don't ask permission, ask for a blessing. Because what if her father says no, he will not give you permission to marry his daughter. I'm like, I'm gonna marry her anyway. That's how much I was determined I was gonna marry her. I was like, I don't think he'll say no though. I'm like, okay, well, ask for his blessing. Will he bless your union? Will he bless your marriage? Will he give you his blessing? Okay, that makes sense. So anyway, I didn't really think much of it. He's not going to say no, of course. So we were going to pick up homeschooling mama from the airport. I made some bullshit reason that I was like, oh, here, come look at my car. We can, two guys looking at an engine, talking over an engine. I told him it wasn't running very well. If you haven't caught from other videos, I am not a car guy. It turns out we popped the hood and he was mad with what he saw. My little, what did I have? It was a, oh, what was that car? It was a Chevy Camry. Yeah, it was in bad shape. Or Cavalier, Chevy Cavalier. That's right, it was a Cavalier. We have a Toyota Camry. It was Chevy Cavalier. It was in bad shape. So we're here. I was just having this moment. We're both under the hood. Maybe we can. I think I brought spark plugs to change out or something. And he's kind of lecturing me about how I bought the wrong spark plugs. This was wrong. The distributor wires were looking bad. The distributor cap needed to be replaced, and my air filter was clogged. So that was pretty tricky. I couldn't just ask him, mano a mano. Two people looking under the hood of a car, two guys just doing guy things. So we did. He invited me to come in and wait for homeschooling mama to get back from Mexico. Eventually, though, I was able to work homeschooling mama into the conversation. And I asked him, I said, can I, one of the reasons I came here, I didn't honestly come here to get yelled at about my car. But I want to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. I want to ask for your blessing, is what I said. I wanted to ask for your blessing to marry your daughter. To my surprise, and again, I did not think this was an option. He said no. He said he cannot give me a blessing, nor will he bless our marriage. And the reason he gave, I was kind of shocked. The reason he gave was that he had yet to talk to homeschooling mama about, was this something she wanted? Was this something that, did she want to marry me? Or was I just, the fling type thing? A little put off, a little upset. I was like, really, you're not going to give me your blessing? I'm really glad I asked for blessing instead of permission, because I'm definitely going to ask her. Screw you guys, I'm asking anyway. So anyway, we do go pick up homeschooling mama. In a couple months later, I did actually end up asking her. Kind of funny, I never brought it up, but he never has actually given me his blessing for marrying his daughter. He did walk her down the aisle, so I'm going to count that as his blessing. It's a kind of a running joke with me and homeschooling mama that he never actually gave his official blessing for our marriage. Do I hold it against him? Of course not. I understood his rationale. He had not talked to his daughter about me. I don't know if they didn't think it was a possibility or an option. We've been dating for a year. I'm hoping it was on their radar. But yeah. So, how do you know when she's the one? When everything else comes second. When everything else in your life is on the back burner. Because that's what it's going to be. Once you're married, everything else comes in the back burner. Good job, tough luck. There's a party that's happening. Oh well. Friends want to hang out? Too bad. You are going to be bound to a person. Two halves become a whole for all eternity. for the rest of your lives. So yeah, you better make sure that if you're going to ask her to marry, that everything else comes secondary. And when you're out with friends, your thoughts better not be, oh man, we're having so much fun with these people. Your thought better be, what's my significant other doing? Why aren't they here? I wish they were here. It'd be having so much more fun. It'd be so much funner if they were here. So if that's what comes to mind, they might be the one. Pray about it, think about it. But if you're sitting there having some good times with the boys and you're like, man, I'm so glad my girlfriend isn't here, cut her loose. You don't want to marry that one. You're just having fun. Cut her loose, go find the one. Because once you do get married, that's all there is. They become your everything, your all, your most important. If you're not willing to give them that while you're dating, and that doesn't cross your mind, don't ask them to marry you. It's not worth it. Anyway, folks, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my cigar, enjoy my tasty beer. If you're contemplating asking someone to marry you, just ask yourself, do they consume 100% of your time, attention, and priority? If the answer is no, cut them free. Because once you get married, that's what you're falling into, 100% commitment. Anyway, folks, stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.